What if coming back to life made everyone hate you? Your family, your friends, even the law? Well, some of you are still facing that. Anyway, so moving on. Welcome to Ajin, which translates to Demi-Humans. The story begins with a guy reading flashcard notes on his way to college, while his friends talk about their plans for the upcoming summer vacation. One of them asks, "Hey, Naga, what are your plans?" Naga sighs and replies that he doesn't have any. "You're going to study through the vacation too?" His friend says. "Man, aspiring doctors really have it tough, lol." Naga thinks to himself, God, why does he get to be sarcastic? All I'm trying to do is work hard so I can become a decent human being. Ah, whatever. I still need my friends, so I can't say anything mean to them. As they walk, Naga notices a kid sitting in the parking lot, sipping orange juice. Their eyes meet. While drinking, the kid waves at him. Naga remembers his name, Kai, but ignores him. One of Naga's other friends asks, "Do you know him?" "Yeah," Naga replies. "I know him. He's a freak." His friend mocks him. "Huh, a freak? Maybe he's one of those demi-humans. He sure seems like a different species." "What does that stuff have to do with us?" Naga says. "Come on, let's hurry up." As they walk away, his friends laugh. "Well, I guess that's how you talk when you score in the top 10 of the National Medical Course mock exams. But seriously, what even is a demi-human? Is it like a virus? Haha, no way. They're aliens." In the distance, we see Kai quietly eating his food. The scene switches to inside the classroom as the teacher says, "Today, we're going to talk about demi-humans. First, tell me what you know about them." A student named Ioma raises his hand and says, "They're immortal. They never die." The teacher nods. "That's right. It's said that demi-humans do not die." Naga thinks to himself, demi-humans, huh. I think I can ignore this topic. The teacher continues, "Since they never die, they also emit a peculiar voice. That's about all we, the general public, know. Demi-humans were first discovered 17 years ago in Africa. Haha, the same year you were all born. At the time, a military unit encountered someone the locals called the Soldier of God. The US forces seized him and proved the rumors were true. It turned out to be one of the greatest discoveries in human history. It was almost covered up, but the truth was too big to hide, and the news quickly spread. You may only know it by hearsay, but there was a huge uproar back then. Some people panicked, saying an alien had been discovered. Eventually, things calmed down. So far, 46 demi-humans have been identified worldwide, 2 of them in Japan. They simply do not die, not from war, accidents, sickness, or suicide. Some are surely still undiscovered. After all, as they say, you don't know until you die. There could even be one among us here. You can't rule it out. Of course, there have been no documented cases of a demi-human harming a human. They were a major discovery, but not one that directly affected our daily lives. Even if one were here, we'd be just fine. A student named Vata Abe raises his hand. "I heard rumors that if you capture a demi-human, you'd receive a huge cash reward." The teacher pauses for a moment before replying. "That would be an extremely rare event. You would certainly gain fame, but an official reward would be unlikely. However, you might gain ownership of it, much like hunted prey." The word prey slips from Kei's mouth in shock. "Prey?" The entire class turns to look at him. The teacher frowns. "Raise your hand before speaking, Kei Naga." Kei quickly raises his hand. So are demi-humans not human?" The room goes silent. The students stare, bewildered by the question. The teacher responds calmly, "Isn't it obvious?" An awkward silence follows. Kei freezes, then panics. "Oh yeah, of course. Heh heh." The teacher clears his throat. Moving on, we'll now learn about the utility of demi-humans. The scene shifts to a young girl's voice asking, "Mom, aren't we going to the hospital?" We see the lifeless body of a small puppy lying on a cloth. Young Kei stands beside his sister and mother, staring at it in silence. His mother snaps angrily, "We got stuck with defective merchandise. That damn pet shop, maybe I should sue them." The scene shifts again to the puppy's grave. Kei and his sister stand before it. His sister cries softly and asks, "Brother, why did he die?" Kei answers quietly, "It couldn't be helped. He was sick." Still crying, she asks, Is it true that you die if you're defective? Kei is shocked. Of course not. But as he looks down at the grave, a thought creeps into his mind. Come to think of it, why do we die? It's not like we need to die. Suddenly, a towering, skinny humanoid silhouette appears behind him. Its body and face are wrapped in bandages like a mummy. Instinctively, Kei steps in front of his sister, trying to shield her. Who are you? He screams. The figure opens its mouth, raises its hand, and reaches for Kei's face. Kei, the vision shatters as his classmates' voices pull him back to reality. Wadabe says, "You were spacing out, Kei. Are you tired from studying too much?" Kei shrugs it off. It's nothing, he says, and starts walking. What did I just remember, he thinks. Was that a childhood memory? Why would it surface now? It feels like I'm forgetting something. No, I just need to focus on studying, so I can become a fine human being. Terrified friends and bystanders stare in horror at the accident that has just unfolded before their eyes. The truck driver rushes out, panic written all over his face. Hey, look at the light, he shouts, frantically taking pictures of the traffic signal. The red light switches to green. He grinds his teeth. Damn it. He turns to the crowd. You all saw it, right? Be my witnesses. It was his fault. He crossed while the light was red. He screams again. Has someone called an ambulance? I mean, the cops. The scene cuts to a close-up of Kei's lifeless body. Suddenly, his fingers twitch. They crack. Blood begins to flow back, squelching softly as flesh knits itself together. Wadabe notices the sound. The driver, still trying to take photos of the body, freezes. A strange silhouette flickers in the pooling blood, something that shouldn't exist. His body coming back out of truck Kun. Kei's eyes snap open. His body regenerates before everyone's eyes. He screams in agony. So, demi-humans are real? Wadabe shouts. Kei stumbles backward, terror flooding his face. No, I'm human. Wadabe steps closer, a sly smile creeping onto his face. Yeah, of course. I believe you. He extends his hand. We're friends, after all. Kei's ears begin to ring. Research, reward, fame, utility tool, demi-humans aren't human. The voices pile up, crushing him. Kei screams with everything he has. The bystanders try to move, but their bodies refuse to listen, frozen in place by fear. And then Kei runs with all his might. The crowd erupts in panic, shouting, "It's a demi-human! A demi-human! Catch it!" Where did it go? Nearby, the truck driver swallows hard and mutters, "I'm free to go now, right?" A few neighborhoods away, Kai walks down the street, listening as people gossip excitedly about something. Someone suddenly calls out to him. 2 police officers approach. Are you familiar with an individual named Kei Nagai? Kai thinks for a moment, then replies, No, sorry, I have no idea. Do you know what he did? Before officers can answer, a group of gossiping aunties notices them and rushes over, loudly explaining that Kei Nagai is a demi-human who escaped. As the officers struggle to get a word in, Kai slowly walks away, saying under his breath, Who really cares about demi-humans? After moving a few meters, he suddenly throws his bag aside and dashes off like the wind, saying, Kei, wait for me. Outside the city, deep within the forest, Kei panted in exhaustion as he sat beneath a tree. His chest burned and his hands trembled. I can't let them catch me, he thought. What will happen if they do? No. They'll experiment on me until I die. I can't let that happen. Shit, he muttered, fumbling for his phone. I have to turn it off or they'll find me. He froze, then exhaled in relief. Thankfully, I switched it off before entering classroom and forget to turn the power back on. That was close. The people searching for me were probably calling it right now. Should I ask someone for help? The thought died instantly. I can't call home. The police must already be there by now. The faces of his classroom teacher and Wadabe flashed through his mind. Kei clenched his head and let out a quiet sigh. There's no one I can ask for help. Suddenly, another memory surfaced, clear and painful. A younger boy stood before him, holding an insect-catching net, calling out his name. The scene shifted. Kei Naga and Kai walked side by side, chatting casually. "I memorized your phone number," Kei Naga said proudly, "like we promised. Now it's your turn." "Huh," Kai replied, confused. "When did we make that promise?" The vision changed again. Kei Naga's mother stood before him, her hand outstretched. "Give me your phone. I'm deleting Kaito's, aka Kai's, number." "Why, Mom?" Kei asked. "Because you're not allowed to play with him anymore," she replied coldly. "If you want to grow up to be a fine human being, you can't associate with the wrong people." Outside the house, Kai waited alone. The vision faded. Tears filled his eyes. Gritting his teeth, Kei dialed the number. On the other end, Kai picked up immediately. "Hello, who is this?" Kai sounded panicked. Kei Naga cried as speaking, "Kai, help me. What do I do? What should I please help me?" "Hey, Kei, calm down," Kai said firmly. "I know everything and I will help you. But first, tell me, where are you right now?" I'm now," Kei Naga began, but his words faltered as a memory flashed through his mind. The last time they met, when he had called Kai a freak, his body was soaked in sweat. His voice shook as he stumbled over his words, doubt creeping in. Will our childhood friendship be destroyed by this? By the situation we're in now? The hesitation reached Kai through the silence. "Kai said with quiet confidence, you can trust me." As his words echoed, another vision surfaced, 2 children catching bugs with their nets, just like they used to. Gulping and putting his trust in him, Kei Naga answered, "I'm by the tree, the one where we caught that beetle." On the other end, Kai immediately hoisted his backpack onto his shoulder. "I'll be right there," he said. "Wait for me." The scene shifted. Kei Naga sat alone beneath the tree, hugging his knees. The forest was unnaturally quiet until the sound of crushed leaves crept closer. A beam of light suddenly flashed over him. "Found you," a voice said. Kei froze as a police officer stepped into view. The man smirked. "So my hunch was right for once. Heh, I knew you'd be here." The officer raised his walkie-talkie to report in. Panic flooded Kei's body. He stumbled back, his voice breaking. "Please, please don't." The officer paused, then lowered his hand. All right, I won't," he said, surprising Kei. Rolling up his sleeves, the officer walked toward him slowly and deliberately. "It's not like demi-humans eat people," he said casually. "I'll take care of you myself," he chuckled. "I've got a daughter, you know. She doesn't give me an ounce of respect these days. Maybe if I bring you in, she'll finally look at me in a new light." The officer held up a pair of handcuffs. "So be good. Don't resist. Just do as I say." Cornered, Kei's breath came fast. Then suddenly, he pointed behind the officer. "Your girl's going to get killed, you know," Kei said desperately. "By my buddy right there." The officer's face drained of color. He spun around in panic. There was nothing, only dead silence. Seizing the moment, Kei ran. "Hey, wait," the officer shouted. "I said wait. Where do you think you're running? There's nowhere to go. You can't outrun me. When you're an adult, you will know what it's like seeing no respect in your family's eyes." "Well, but do demi-humans even grow?" Whatever, I said wait." Kei dashed through the forest, branches tearing at his clothes. But suddenly, his foot caught on a thick tree root. He crashed onto his back. The officer closed in, breathing hard. "You need to listen to your human master," he said coldly, raising the handcuffs. Kei clenched his teeth. There was no way out. Then his eyes widened. Kai appeared in a blur of motion and drove his foot into the back of the officer's neck. The man collapsed instantly, unconscious. Kai stumbled as he landed, gravity pulling him down hard. "Kai," Kei Naga called out, joy and relief bursting from his voice. Don't say my name," Kai cut in sharply. "Okay, understand." Kei nodded quickly and reached out his hand. "Can you stand?" "Yeah," Kai replied, gripping his hand. Because we need to run. The scene shifted. The forest lay dim beneath the moonlight as the two of them sprinted through the trees, their breaths ragged and uneven. Elsewhere, the officer groaned and lifted his walkie-talkie. Demi-Human on the run, he reported, seems to have a partner. Back in the forest, Kei struggled to keep pace, exhaustion weighing down his legs. As they ran, a sudden chill crawled up his spine, the same suffocating presence from his dreams. Kei glanced over his shoulder. There was no one there. Kei, don't stop, Kai said urgently. Kei gasped, then forced himself forward, saying yes, let's go. They disappeared deeper into the forest. The scene shifted to a motorcycle drifting across the back roads near farmland, its headlight flickering as it cut through the darkness. Kei Nagai clung tightly to Kai as the engine roared beneath them. I doubt the cops are out in full force yet, Kai said over the wind. This is our chance to put some distance between us, stick to the back streets. Kei tightened his grip. I'm sorry, he said, about this morning for calling you a freak. Don't worry about it, Kai replied without hesitation. Kei swallowed, his voice uncertain. So I guess I'm not human, then so that makes me the real freak? Kai glanced back at him, his eyes calm. I don't care about stuff like that, he said. You're my friend, that's all that matters. The motorcycle surged forward, carrying them deeper into the night as they raced towards somewhere, anywhere, safe. The scene switched to a car speeding through the city streets. The driver kept his eyes on the road, while the guy in the front passenger seat spoke sharply into his phone. Don't feed me that crap, he snapped. We're talking about demi-humans. Do you even understand what demi-humans are? No one has ever figured them out. Every nation in the world still wants to uncover the truth behind them. On the other end of the call, someone gulped. What do you mean, every nation? This situation is far more serious than you think, the man continued. We must secure Kei Nagai at any cost before another country gets their hands on him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir, the voice replied shakily. The call ended abruptly. The man slammed his phone down and barked at his team, double the head count, no, triple our manpower. Investigate Kei Nagai's whereabouts immediately. Set up checkpoints on the back streets too. Do whatever it takes to find him. In the front passenger seat, man flipped through a file marked with Kei Nagai's photo. A new demi-human, huh? He muttered. We can't let you get away. The car turned sharply, weaving through multiple streets toward a specific destination. Across the city, news broadcasts lit up screens everywhere. Some people watched in terror, others with excitement, some with quiet, creeping fear. The hunt had begun. The scene shifted. A figure dressed like an ancient mummy lay trapped between two human-sized hydraulic presses. The number 2 was etched clearly onto his head. The machines closed in. A sickening crunch echoed through the chamber as bones shattered. Blood dripped slowly onto the cold floor beneath. Nearby, scientists watched in silence, their faces empty, bystanders to the cruelty unfolding before them. The footage played on a laptop screen. A man sat alone, staring at it, his hands trembling slightly. His voice was low, filled with quiet disgust. They do such horrible things, he said. They're the real demi-humans. The scene shifted to Kei Nagai and Kai racing through the night, cutting through the wind as the steady pounding of their hearts slowly began to calm. As they rounded a corner, headlights appeared ahead. A car was approaching. Instinctively, Kei Nagai ducked his head and pressed closer behind Kai. The car passed without slowing. Seeing this, Kai spoke gently, trying to reassure him. It's fine, they won't notice. Oh, okay, Kei Nagai replied, though his thoughts spiraled. How did things come to this? What a stupid question. Of course I know why. Because I'm a demi-human. The real question is what will happen if they catch me. They'll probably start peeling my skin. They'll kill me again and again. Not like that's anything new, but when that truck ran over me for a split second, no, longer than that, it hurt so much. His stomach twisted. Sweat broke out across his face. His breathing hitched. Kei noticed immediately. "Kei, you're safe now," he said firmly. "We've come pretty far. We're on a mountain road, and we've already crossed the prefectural border." He continued calmly, "The police can't mobilize seriously that fast. Most regular folks probably haven't even heard the news yet. You'll be safe tonight, for sure." Kei smiled slightly. "For now, we need a place to catch our breath. I've got a spot in mind where we can rest. Once we're there, we can start thinking about what to do next." Surprised, Kei Nagai nodded. "Okay." After a moment, Kei asked casually, "So, how many demi-humans are there anyway, from what they say?" Kei Nagai blinked. 47, I guess." Another van passed them on the road. Kei said. "As many as 47? Then it's not exactly rare to be a demi-human." Kei Nagai chuckles and let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. "Thanks, Kei," he said quietly. "I feel a lot better now." He's as weird as ever, Kei Nagai thought, but maybe he's right. Maybe society hasn't completely lost its mind over this yet. So maybe, just maybe, I can still get away. No, he shook the thought aside. I'll think about that later. First, I need to be safe. The scene switched to a rolling camera. A journalist stood in front of a house, speaking directly into the mic. "We are here at the home of a newly discovered demi-human." Behind her, police officers pushed through the crowd, clearing a path for an arriving vehicle. She continued, "A third demi-human has been discovered in Japan, and he is currently on the run. This quiet town has been thrown into chaos." The camera shifted. Kei Nagai's so-called friend Watabe stood among the onlookers and says to the camera, "Man, I was so shocked I almost peed my pants," he said nervously. "One of my classmates is a demi-human, but there was always something about him, something that didn't feel human." The broadcast cut back to the journalist. According to police, the demi-human may have already fled to another prefecture with the help of an accomplice. Working together with departments from neighboring prefectures, authorities will begin a full-scale search operation at dawn. She gave a practiced nod. "That's all from the demi-human's residence for now. Our coverage will continue as more details emerge." As she lowered the microphone and handed it to the cameraman, her gaze caught movement beyond the police stay outline. "Who's that?" she whispered. The camera zoomed in on a man and a woman walking calmly through the restricted area, both dressed in sharp suits. "One of the higher-ups from the Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare," the cameraman murmured. "Basically the top guy in charge of demi-humans, and I think the woman with him is his secretary." The journalist felt her cheeks warm slightly. Handsome, fast-tracked bureaucrat, she thought. Not bad at all. The man on the phone stepped forward and greeted him. "You must be Mr. Tazaki. Nice to meet you. I'm responsible for..." He was cut off. Adjusting his glasses with a sharp motion, the man replied coldly, "You are mistaken. My name is not Tazaki. It is Kei, do you understand?" My apologies," the man said quickly. Beside Tasaki, the woman let out a quiet sigh, clearly exhausted by the unnecessary drama. They entered the tent together. "As you advised," the man continued, "we've significantly increased personnel from the Metropolitan Police, along with departments from other prefectures. We've pulled out all the stops. Once it's daylight, we'll find him in no time, mark my words. Mr. Mr. Kei." Tasaki calmly reached into his pocket, poured several mint drops into his palm, and popped them into his mouth. The man blinked. What a weirdo, he thought. Tasaki casually held out the mint drops. "Care for one?" "No, thank you," the man replied politely, then continued. "You also advised us on another matter, the use of non-lethal tranquilizers. As you said, they're the most effective way to subdue demi-humans. However, acquiring them in sufficient quantity will take some time." Tasaki adjusted his glasses again. "Yes, I did advise you of that." Then he added calmly, "But personally, I would prefer that you do not use them." The man frowned, confused. A thin, unsettling smile crept across Tasaki's face. He lowered his voice. "It is a rare test subject," he murmured. "I would like to obtain it in the most neutral state possible." A chill ran down the man's spine. "Understood," he said after a moment. "We will do our best, sir." The bike roared through the night, vroom, vroom, until the awkward silence finally broke. Hey, Kei Nagai said hesitantly. "I know the timing's bad, but I really need to pee." "Ah," Kei replied after a beat. "Okay, I'll find an alley for you." Kei slowed and checked the map while Kei slipped off the bike and headed into the bushes. I still pee normally, Kei thought. And why wouldn't I? I lived a completely normal life until today. If only that stupid truck hadn't run me over, I wouldn't be dealing with all this. He paused. Wait, do demi-humans become demi-humans only after they die once? Or are they born that way? Lost in thought, he didn't notice the movement behind him. Two teenagers crept closer, one gripping a metal bat. A rustle. Kei's eyes widened. Before he could react, rough hands grabbed him and slammed him to the ground. "No mistakes," one of them said sharply. "It's the demi-human." "Are you serious?" the other whispered excitedly. "Holy shit, that's 100 million reward." Hearing the bike rumble, Kei turned around just in time to see Kei struggling. Kei shouted. The boy with the bat glanced at Kei and smirked. "I didn't believe it at first, but you're that so-called human helper, huh? Well, we'll be taking your demi-human now. See ya." Kei snapped back instantly. "Yeah, right. Where the hell did you two crawl out from?" "Who cares where we came from?" One of them scoffed. "The only thing that matters is this demi-human is ours now." From behind a nearby van, clearly theirs, a girl peeked out, watching nervously. From the way things looked, the two boys had clearly been doing something bad to the girl earlier. She hurriedly fixed her clothes, her hands shaking, and thought, "This might be my chance to escape." "Get lost, man," the boy with the bat snapped at Kei. Yeah, get lost," the other added, "or you'll die." Kei stared at them intensely, unmoving. Behind them, Kei Nagai struggled, trying to pry the boy's hands off him. Desperate, he leaned forward and bit down hard. "Gah," the boy cried out in pain. Enraged, he slammed Kei flat onto the ground and wrapped both hands around his throat. "You little piece of shit." Seeing the opening, Kei stepped forward and dashed toward them, but the boy with the bat moved instantly, blocking his path. Pinned to the ground, air burning out of his lungs, Kei's thoughts shattered. "Why is this happening to me?" he cried hoarsely. "I never did anything wrong." The boy choking him chuckled darkly. "Shut up, you demi-human. Let's see how immortal you really are." His grip tightened. "Harder, harder. Die," Kei rasped. "Die, die, die, all of you die." His pupils began to fade, rolling back as the world drained of color. Both Kei and the attacker froze, staring in horror at what was happening. Wait," the boy stammered nervously. "Didn't you say they don't die?" Kei's body went limp. Then a monstrous, crawling hand emerged from the darkness, gripping Kei's face. A distorted, inhuman voice echoed through the void. "You want to know why they hurt you?" it whispered. "It's because..." The world shattered. Kei gasped violently as reality snapped back into place. He was on the ground, alive. The boy who had been choking him stumbled backward, screaming in panic. I killed him," he shouted to his friend. "I killed him." Kei slowly lifted his head, confusion flooding his eyes. He took in the scene, then looked at Kei. The scene cut back to Tasaki, speaking calmly to the investigation officers. "As is widely known, you must be extremely careful of a demi-human's voice," Tasaki said. "While there are differences among individuals, if you're careless, you could face far more than a minor surprise." The investigation officer nodded. "I've heard about that. For example, you can suffer temporary paralysis, unable to move for several seconds. Yes, Tasaki replied. It's similar to a snake staring at a frog. There's no direct physical effect on your body, but when capturing one, you must be cautious. He adjusted his glasses. That is why you are required to wear earplugs at all times. The officers exchanged glances, then nodded in agreement. Understood, sir, the scene snapped back. Kai drove his foot straight into the bat-wielding guy's face, a kick powerful enough to lift him off his feet. At the same time, the bat swung wildly and smashed into Kai's side. The other guy froze, watching the fight in shock. Then he glanced at Kei Nagai's body. A scream tore through the air. In an instant, his limbs locked up. He couldn't move. The same paralysis hit the bat-wielding guy and even the girl who had been trying to escape. Kai's eyes widened in disbelief. I can't move. Taking advantage of the moment, Kei Nagai slowly pushed himself up from the ground. So that's why, he muttered. That's why they didn't chase me after the truck incident. His gaze fell on the guy who had choked him to death. Kei stepped forward and slapped him hard across the face. Take this, you fucking asshole. Then he turned toward Kai and shouted, Hey, Kai, can you stand? Let's get out of here. The paralysis faded. Kai sucked in a sharp breath and nodded. Yeah, they didn't hesitate. Kei jumped onto the bike and Kai revved the engine. The motorcycle tore off into the night. Behind them, the stunned teenagers finally regained control of their bodies. Realizing the chance was gone, they scrambled toward their van, while the girl slipped away silently, disappearing into the bushes. The forest swallowed the scene whole. The scene shifted to Kei Nagai's family home. The investigation officer exhaled and said, It appears the interviews are finished. Mr. Tasaki, if you wish to discuss anything further with the family, we can arrange that. Yes, Tasaki replied calmly. I would. The officer hesitated. Mr. Tasaki, one question before you leave. You're not hiding anything about demi-humans from us, are you? Tasaki met his gaze with an intense, unreadable stare. The silence stretched. Nervously, the officer laughed. Ah, well, you know how people talk. Bureaucrats hiding things and all. Ha ha. Tasaki adjusted his glasses. It's not that information isn't being withheld, he said evenly. But aside from their voices, there is nothing that will affect you or your men. Demi-humans pose no danger. That is a fact we are quite certain of. He nodded to the woman beside him, and the two stepped out of the tent. We are not humans when we are on duty, Tasaki continued quietly. We are officials. It would be wise to rid yourself of unnecessary sentiment. He held out a mint. Am I right? Izumi Shimamura. Saying her name, she blinked, then accepted the mint. Under his breath, Tasaki murmured, Demi-humans pose no danger as long as Kei Nagai is not a variant. Elsewhere, a shadow loomed behind Kei Nagai as he fled through the night. Kei suddenly glanced back, startled by a presence, but there was nothing there. What's wrong? Kai asked. Are they coming after us? I'm sorry, Kei. I didn't think something like that would happen so soon. Why are you even doing this? Kei Nagai said, noticing the blood on Kai's face. You're hurt because of me? Ahead, a railroad crossing gate began to lower. Kai tightened his grip, accelerated, and shot forward. The bike slipped through just as the gate slammed shut behind them. Yes, Kai laughed breathlessly. Luck's on our side. Behind them, the van screeched to a halt. Ah, shit, one of the hooligans shouted. The train's coming. The driver slammed the accelerator and smashed through the gate. Come on, the guy who had choked Kei yelled. It's 100 million, let's do this. Suddenly, the van stopped dead on the tracks. Hey, why did you stop? He shouted. I didn't, the bat-wielding guy cried. It's not the van, it's my body won't move. A black, crawling hand slid up over his head. The other boy stared in terror as shadowy figures wrapped around his friend. The figure whispered, "Die, die, die, all of you die, I never did anything wrong," as upcoming the train's Sama roared through. Metal screamed. The van was erased in an instant. The explosion was so massive that even Kei Nagai and Kai could see it in the distance. Both of them glanced back. "What was that?" Kei Nagai and Kai murmured, but there was no time to dwell on it. The chaos behind them was their chance to put even more distance between themselves and the danger. As the road stretched on, a heavy silence settled in Kei's mind. "I'm sure of it now," he thought. "After that fight, a demi-human's voice can immobilize people. But then, why was I the only one who could move again so quickly? Maybe there's something more to being a demi-human." The thought lingered. Somewhere far behind them, a shadowy figure stood still on the destroyed van, staring into the distance, the exact direction they had gone. Watching, waiting. The scene switched to a computer screen. Footage played of Experiment 2, strapped down and being tortured under harsh lights. The image flickered, cold and clinical. Behind the screen, a man watched. He let out a quiet chuckle. "Humans need to understand consequences," he said calmly. "Sometimes, all it takes is stirring things just a little out of alignment." He clicked through several documents, scrolling past data and reports, until a single image filled the screen, a photograph of two, taken back when he was still human. The man studied it in silence. "Hey guys, thanks for tuning in till the end. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment K Pitwo for the next part. Or even better, please read it from the official sources. You can find the name of the manga in the description or the comment section. Thanks for watching.